The White House on Friday said there will be no offshore oil drilling authorized in new areas until a review of the spill in the Gulf of Mexico has been conducted.
I continue to believe that domestic oil production is an important part of our overall strategy for energy security. But I've always said it must be done responsibly for the safety of our workers and our environment.
Just last month, the president unveiled plans for a limited expansion of offshore oil drilling, in part to try to win Republican support for climate change legislation. But last week's oil rig explosion in the Gulf of Mexico has postponed that initiative, a move praised by Damon Muglin of Greenpeace.
Well, it's clear that the idea of having new offshore drilling is dead. It's dead on delivery. We're in the middle of a catastrophic environmental crisis, and we're not going to have new drilling. I think really the issue now is how soon can we enact a new moratorium on offshore drilling of the kind that we've had for more than a quarter of a century.
Offshore drilling became a contentious issue during the 2008 presidential campaign, thanks in large part to Republican vice presidential candidate Sarah Palin.
The chant is drill, baby, drill. And that's what we hear all across this country in our rallies, because people are so hungry for those domestic sources of energy to be tapped into.
The decision by the White House to suspend new offshore drilling is disappointing to Rayola Dewar, an economist at API, the American Petroleum Institute.
Saying, well, now we're not going to develop our oil and natural gas resources would be a huge mistake. And to use this as a rationale for not moving forward would compound this tragedy. And to take these resources off the table for the United States, I think would be tragic.
The National Weather Service predicts high tides and winds through Sunday could push oil deeper inland, affecting hundreds of species of fish, birds, and other wildlife along the U.S. Gulf Coast. John Decker, Reuters.